I just got to check out the new Hell House LLC movie, Lineage, and I'm going to talk to you about it right now. So buckle up. Let's get into it. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a spoiler-free review of the upcoming Hell House LLC Lineage, the fifth installment in the entire franchise of films that have moved from found footage, raw found footage, all the way to something completely different with this fifth installment. Now, if you're curious about what I think about the previous movies in the franchise, I just did a ranked and review of all of the movies. So if you want to check that out, I'll put it up here. I enjoyed all of these movies for the most part in some different ways, but it wasn't until I started rewatching them on this set that I got from the Umbrella, which had the first four films, that I really started to get invested into it. I explained that a lot more in the ranked video, but let's just say that I have definitely come around to this franchise in a lot of different ways. I got to check out Lineage, and Lineage is a newer type of film, an actual film, and not like a found footage film. For those of you who are big, staunch, found footage, raw, this and that fans, this may not be for you. But I urge you to give it a chance, because those of you who liked the last film to any degree are probably going to enjoy this movie. So what is it all about? Well, the movie starts off with Vanessa Shepherd, who had a near-death experience with the Abaddon. Mysterious deaths start occurring. All around town, there's people that have been brushed up with the Abaddon Hotel and finding some really strange things happening to them. Vanessa discovers that the connection to the Abaddon Hotel, the Carmichael Manor, and decades of unexplained murders are all coming to a head in this one movie. This is a very different film. This is no longer a found footage film. This is definitely a almost kind of fever dreamish psychological horror style horror movie that has taken some of the lore that really takes some pretty big liberties with the source material and does some really new stuff in the realm of supernatural. This movie has a very slow burn pacing, very much kind of like the last film with the Carmichael Manor Origins movie, but even more drawn out. There's a lot more sleuthing around, a lot more info dumping about different connections to different decades and different pieces of the puzzle that we've gotten over the course of the entire franchise. And it all starts to kind of make sense this time around, which is really interesting. And I have to give my, hat off for how well they handle the lore and like how they're bringing it all together. I was kind of hoping for this one to be much more scarier than the last one. And that last one really kind of freaked me the fuck out with those clowns. It's going to be hard to top that one as far as the scares go. But this one kind of brings it to a little bit more mainstream vibe. Kept feeling like this movie had a Freddy Krueger style vibe about it, because there was just so many different things going on, so many different fever dreamish things that were occurring that I wasn't really sure what to expect. And they do some things with supernatural, I'll just say, that you may or may not catch on to. I definitely had my questions because of everything that happened in the third film, the Lake of Fire film, which a lot of people really didn't dig into that one. And they're using that one as sort of the anchor for this entire story in this movie. And I'm not sure if they're doing that because it's more of a more recent film that they can borrow some of the characters without making them look like, 8 years has passed. But still, there are some very great scenes, including the clown and other things that just go bananas in this movie that I almost feel like I wanted to see more of that, where it feels like the whole house is literally in hell. There was a particular scene at the end of the movie that I was just aghast with, and I loved it, and I wanted to see more of that in the film. I felt like it needed just a little bit more, but I gotta say, like, you're not going to be disappointed if you enjoyed the last movie and the direction where these films have been going. I think it's really interesting and neat how the movies have kind of switched from a found footage-y way to, like, you know, straight up filmmaking. And I don't know, I think there's something very unique about that. And I like the changes because even though people wanted some of that found footage, I think film fans or genre fans or horror fans will still appreciate the different types of textures that they're getting with all of these different movies, you know? I don't want to say and compare it to franchises that it has nothing to do with, but there are other franchises that have made so many different movies and people like so many different things about them. This kind of has that vibe about it where it's just transition from one to another seamlessly. I've seen other movies where in the beginning of the movie it starts out like rough and raw, and by the end of the movie it's a very cinematic experience. And this movie, Lineage, is very cinematic, well shot, iffy moments and acting at times, but nothing below par as far as the franchise is concerned. This actually is kind of in the upper realm of better acting, and we get a lot more characters this time, some from different movies that you've seen before, and they kind of wrap it all up. The ending is a very different experience, and there's a lot going on that I don't know how I feel about the ending just yet. I think if you're a fan of this franchise and you enjoyed the last one, you definitely want to go see this in the theater. But I really am glad I got a chance to check it out early. The conclusion of this, you know, is it over? I won't say. Is it going to continue? Maybe. We'll see. I can't say for that either. Just know that going into this, you're going to get a lot more of what part 4 was in the franchise, and it's kind of taking some of the lore from previous movies and pulling it into its own sort of thing here. So thank you guys so much, Terror Films, for sending this one out to me. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed it. I've really come around to this franchise. I admire it for so many of the things that they've done to kind of just experiment, try new things, and try to push the lore, and they've really masterfully woven these things together. And I really appreciate some of the scares, and the clowns in these movies are some of the freakiest shit to me. And even if this one isn't the scariest out of the bunch, it's still fun to watch, and I enjoyed it immensely. You know, I would at least give this a 7 out of 10, if not more. It wasn't my favorite movie of the year, but I really have a special spot in my heart for this franchise now where I didn't before. That's what I think about the film. Would love to hear what you guys think. Are you excited about this film? I sure hope you are. I think most of you are going to be in the positive experience if you are a fan of the latter part of the franchise. If you're not, you know, you can't just go in expecting this movie to be found footage, and it's not going to be. This is a completely different thing. They've moved away from it, but I really think that's really cool that they're doing something very different with a franchise like that. I don't think that's ever been done before, and I really appreciate that. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Be on the lookout for this when it comes out August 20th in theaters, October for Shudder. It's all coming this year, guys, so at least watch it at some point in time to see what you think and where it places. If I had to say where this placed in my ranking, because you know my ranking from the last film, oh man, this is tough. I would say that it would be, if you watch my ranking, you'll know where this is placed. I would say it goes right before number 4, but it's pretty close, very close. So watch my ranking, you'll know where it places if you've seen that. If you haven't, shame on you. But thanks for coming by, and as always, long live the void.